Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. I'm Mrs. Fawzia Afzal, your teacher of English. Class, that we have started our series of parts of speech for the preparation of our objective paper. So this is the third part of that series, and this is about verb and its kinds. You know that in a previous lesson there were some exercises based on the verbs, so we have already done some of the verbs, but now we'll do the types of verbs in detail. The learning outcomes of our today's lecture are that at the end of this lesson you should be able to know what is a verb, you should be able to identify different types of verb, and then finally you should be able to write a detailed assignment on verb and its types. So this is all that you know already, but we need to revise everything so that now if there is any kind of ambiguity in your minds at this level, at class 10th, you should remove it. So verb is a word used to describe an action, a state of occurrence, and forming the main part of the predicate of a sentence. So in other words, everything that you do in your life or everything which is being done, or any action that we see, is a verb. So verb can tell us that what a person or thing does. For example, in these sentences, see this, laughs is a verb. Ali laughs. The clock strikes. Maria works hard. So here these are the verbs: laughs, strikes, works. Then secondly, verb is what is done to a person. For example, अगर हम किसी को डांट रहे हैं, कोई हमें स्कोल्ड कर रहा है, तो वो भी वर्ब है. लेकिन अगर हम किसी को डांट रहे हैं तो वो भी वर्ब है. अगर कोई हमें डांट रहा है तो वो भी वर्ब है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, सारा वाज स्कोल्डेड, ये सारा है और शी इज बीइंग स्कोल्डेड बाय हर. ओके, द विंडो इज ब्रोकन. सो अ वर्ब इज व्हाट is done to a person or a thing. Then the state of being, this is also a verb. What a person or a thing is, this, so this is called the verb of being. The cat is dead, is. Glass is brittle, is. I feel sorry, feel. So she is late, here is. So you see that a verb is the state or an action, and secondly what is done to a person or a thing, and third is what a person or thing is, the state of being. So this is verb. So let's see types of verbs. These are intransitive verb and transitive verb, and you have already done it in one of our previous lessons. We have done these two in detail, so now we'll just revise these two, transitive and intransitive verbs. We'll revise them and we'll learn some more verbs. For example, compound verbs, then helping, auxiliary verbs, then linking verbs, regular and irregular verbs. There are some more verbs, but in this lesson we'll cover only these. So action verbs. Action verbs are words that express action. For example, where you can see or where you can feel an action is being done. For example, give, eat, walk. Or possession. These can be verbs of possession. For example, have, own something. So these can also be action verbs. You see that action verbs are also the main verbs, and these main verbs are also called lexical verbs. You should know it, lexical verbs. So lexical verbs are the main verbs are of two kinds: lexical verb, main verb, action verb. These are of two kinds. For example, transitive or intransitive. Let's just revise these two once again. Transitive, passing over to object. So an action that is passed over to an object. Remember this? Okay, transitive verbs are action verbs that have an object to receive that action, where the action has been passed over to an object. I baked. What baked? As in our previous lecture on transitive and intransitive verbs, I told you that how to confirm it, that whether it is transitive or intransitive, that after the verb you will take a break and you will stop reading the next portion of the sentence and you will just stop on the verb and you will make a question. What? I baked. What baked? Some cakes, some cookies. So this is object, so this must be transitive. I rode. What? The bicycle. So this is transitive. I moved. What you moved? The chair. So this is transitive. And you know that you have already done this, so let's move on to the other intransitive verb. Intransitive verbs are action verbs. These are also action verbs, but unlike transitive verbs, they do not have an object receiving the action. So in other words, in intransitive verbs, action is not passed over to an object, for example, or all these are intransitive. For example, I laughed, he cried, the book fell, the horse galloped, the sun set. So next, see regular verbs. Although these are very easy, but when they are in your MCQs and in your options of MCQs and objectives, then sometimes you get confused. Otherwise, you see that these are very easy. Regular verbs means that regular verbs are those whose past tense and past participles, in other words, second and third form, are formed by adding just D or an ed to the end of the verb. So this is very easy, very simple, that regular verbs are those whose second and third form ends in D or ed. So why they are called regular? It means that they are changed in a regular way. They are changed in second and third form into by a regular way. For example, rolled, 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 plan, planned, planned, look, looked, looked. So these are changed in a regular way. So that's why these are called regular verbs. They are very easy. Next, irregular verbs, those verbs in which there is not the addition of D and ed, and they are not following the regular rules of changing them into second and third form, and all these irregular verbs are changed in some different way. Break, broke, broken, run, ran, run, come, came, come. So you see that in all these irregular verbs you cannot add ed. If you will do, it will look very funny. For example, he, she braked, she runned, he cummed. You see, so these can't be changed into by a regular rule of changing them with D or ed. Come, came, come, swim, swam, swum, fly, flew, flown, buy, bought, bought. So you will remember that if any of these type of verbs are in your objectives, whether this is the word is of the base form or the first form, or it is given from the second form, and whether it is from the third form, if any of these three parts are underlined, then you should go for the option irregular verbs. I mean to say that sometimes it is not just the first form that is being asked that what part of speech it is, but sometimes it is of second form and sometimes it is third form that is given. So all these are irregular. Then compound verbs. Compound verbs are also very easy. Just sometimes the names of the parts of speech are a bit difficult, but in fact they are not so difficult. You know that in a sentence, every subject in a sentence must have at least one verb. But this is just at least. But there can be some subjects हु कैन डू मोर देन वन थिंग, ऐसा हो सकता है ना कि कोई इंसान जो है वो एक से ज़्यादा काम कर रहा हो, ही मस्ट बी वेरी एक्टिव, ठीक है, कोई बहुत ही एक्टिव होगा तो वो एक से ज़्यादा काम भी कर रहा होगा एक सेंटेंस में. बट दैट डजंट मीन दैट अ सब्जेक्ट कैन हैव ओनली वन वर्ब. Some subjects are so active or greedy as far as verbs go that an active or a greedy subject can have 2, 3, 4 or more verbs. अगर कोई बहुत ज़्यादा कोई एक्टिव है तो बहुत ज़्यादा काम भी कर सकता है. More verbs all to itself. एक ही सेंटेंस में एक ही सब्जेक्ट काफ़ी ज़्यादा काम कर सकता है. So अगर एक सेंटेंस में एक से ज़्यादा जो है वो verbs आ रहे हैं तो then these will be called, if they are underlined, then you will say that these are compound verbs. As you remember that you remember your compound nouns, more than one word, it is compound noun. These can be of 2 or 3 words or more. So likewise in your compound verbs, you have more than one word, more than one verb, then these will be called compound verbs. When a subject has 2 or more verbs, you can say that the subject has a compound verb. लेकिन इसमें ये है कि subject should be one. If in one sentence there are different subjects and they are doing different things, for example, Sarah ate the cake and Ali ate the banana. Now इसमें Sarah और Ali, two different subjects हैं, and they are doing two different verbs, then they will not be called compound verbs. But if the subject is the same, and for example, a compound verb is when a subject has 2 or more verbs that are joined together by a conjunction. The stress is on the second or on the last part. So example इसमें देखें compound noun का compound verbs के example. Before mixing the ingredients for his world famous cookies, this is this is one sentence. Before mixing the ingredients for his world famous cookies, Bobby sweated, fly buzzing around the kitchen, and crushed a cockroach scurrying across the floor. So here he has done two things. He is Bobby. Here he has done two things. He is the subject or the doer. He has sweated and he has crushed. So it was joined with the conjunction and. So this is a compound verb. One subject, Bobby, has done two things here, sweated and crushed. Then see some more examples. Matilda loves bread, but she detests butter. You see here, loves and detests. These are two verbs. These are joined by this conjunction, but. Sarah baked cookies and ate them up. So here baked and ate, these are two verbs. So these are compound verbs and these are joined by this conjunction and. Dogs love to eat bones and love drinking. So here eat and drinking, these are two verbs, but these are done by one subject, then this is dogs. Okay, now you see if there is Sarah baked cookies and Ali ate them up, then these were not compound verbs, right? Because there the subject might have been changed, so here it might not have been compound verb. But now Sarah is one subject and she baked cookies and ate them up too, right? So this is compound verb. Next, come to your helping verbs. Helping verbs help the main verb express action or state of being. You know that helping verbs are also called auxiliary verbs, right? As I have told you, basically there are sometimes there are different names of one parts of speech. For example, I told you earlier in this lesson that main verb is also called lexical verb and action verb, right? So you will keep all words in your minds. So again, helping verbs are also called auxiliary verbs, and these helping verbs or auxiliary verbs have two kinds. See here, we have eaten. Have is helping verb and eaten is main verb. So helping verb क्या होता है? Definitely which helps the main verb. So here eaten is a lexical verb or a main verb or an action verb. Now it depends on the option, that what is the option that has been asked to you, but you should know all the names of parts of speech. They are used together to express the action. Next, they are working. So here are is helping verb, and it is helping this main verb or lexical verb or an action verb. This is working. Are is helping verb and working is a main verb. So main or lexical verb. So they are used together to express the action. Helping verbs have no meaning on their own, but they are necessary for the grammatical structure of a sentence. But they do not tell us very much alone. We usually use helping verbs with main verbs. They help the main verb, which has the real meaning. So the real meaning is carried by these main verbs. So there are about 15 helping verbs in English, and they are divided into two basic groups. First is primary auxiliaries are the primary helping verbs. So again and again I'm asking you to keep it into your minds that what are some other names of these parts of speech, right? So helping verbs are also auxiliary verbs, and auxiliary verbs or the helping verbs can be divided into two parts. Primary auxiliaries are the primary helping verbs. These are just three verbs. These are verbs, these verbs be, do and have, and all the other forms of be, do and have. These will be the basic primary or the basic auxiliary verbs. For example, be, have and do, they have some other forms. For example, be, the word is being, is, am, are, was, were, be, been, being. So all these are, if any of these words is underlined and it is asked to you that what it is, so you will go for that these are primary auxiliaries, are the primary helping verbs. Have, has, had, and do has also its forms: do, does, did. Then next, second part of the helping verbs is modal verbs or the modal auxiliaries. So we use modal helping verbs to modify the meaning of the main verb in some way. A modal helping verb expresses necessity or possibility or obligation, moral obligation, yeah, a duty. For example, are to take permission. Remember your modal verbs that you have learned in detail in your class 9th, and changes the main verb in that sense. So let's revise once again. We have already done it in detail in our class 9th and even in class 10th. And that these are the modal verbs. What are these? All they can and could. They can be used to take permission. Likewise, may and might, possibility. Will and would, it also shows some possibility. Shall and should, some kind of necessity. And must and ought to, they show some kind of obligation or duty. So all these are, if any of these words are underlined in your MCQs, then these will be modal verbs, or in other words, modal auxiliaries. Then comes linking verb. Linking verb simply means that they link or join the subject with another word in sentence and called linking verb. Sometimes you get confused that whether they are helping verb or whether they are linking verb, but here you will see that if this word is or was were, they are is there any other main verb or lexical verb to whom they are helping, then they will be helping. But here these are linking. Here there is no other verb, you will see. So the main thing is that how can you see that these are linking verbs, that there is no other verb to which they are helping. For example, Ali was the winner of the race. Is there any other verb? No. Winner and race, all these are not verbs. So was जो है वो किसकी help कर रहा है? किसी की भी नहीं. So this is not helping verb. This is just joining the subject. This is just joining the winner to the subject. So linking verbs are basically they are just connecting the subject to some other group of words, and they can identify or describe the subject. For example, see some other examples of these linking verbs. Mr. Bohar is our teacher. Here linking verb is. अब यहाँ पे कोई और आपको verb नज़र आ रहा है जैसे Mr. Bohar is doing something? No, is our teacher. So here this is linking verb. That dog looks miserable. So here you see the linking verb looks links the subject dog to the adjective miserable. So let's see some of the examples of linking verbs. Linking verbs can be replaced with some similar verbs, and you should know all this table of the similar verbs. First, the verbs of be: am, are, be, been, being, is, was, were. These are the linking verbs. When they are not helping the main verb, then they are linking verbs. You know that as I was telling you that there can be some other names. Linking verbs are also called defective verbs. They are also called incomplete verbs. Then see this is the set of some similar verbs like the linking verbs. They are also used as linking verbs. These are appear, grow, seem, stay, become, look, smell, taste, feel, remains, sound, turn. And you will this is, you know that this is just a set of these similar verbs, and this is sometimes this is confusing and you confuse it with some other verbs. So you will just learn all these similar verbs, that these are linking. So this is once again, this is a table of revision what we have learned now about the linking verbs. This is their table that we have just now revised. Then the forms of be: is, are, am, was, were, be, been, being. Then the other helping verbs, right? These can also be used as modal verbs. So what is the difference in helping verbs and linking verbs? Once again, we see that helping verbs will have more than one verb in the sentence. ठीक है, वो जिसको help कर रहे हैं आगे कोई और भी main verb भी होगा. So they won't be the main verb of the sentence. जहाँ पे ये help कर रहे हैं ये फिर वहाँ पे main verb नहीं होंगे. ठीक है, लेकिन in the linking verbs they are used as main verbs because there is no other verb. So in linking verbs these verbs will be used as the main verbs and will identify or describe the subject. So today we have learnt the types of verbs, and still some of the types of verbs are left that we'll do in our next lecture inshallah, and these are finite and non-finite verbs. So today we have revised our previous two types of verbs that we have done already. These were transitive and intransitive verbs, and then we learnt about regular, irregular verbs, and the primary auxiliaries, modal auxiliaries, or the helping verbs, and then finally we learnt the linking verbs. So now you will make the assignment of verb and its kinds in detail, and there are just two finite and non-finite verbs are left that we'll do in our next lecture inshallah. Thank you and take care.